Welcome back to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the new account, week by week. We are on week 11. We have hit level 80, 500k GP. This week we're going to hit these topics that we normally do, but what I really want to emphasize this week is the sheer volume of things you can accomplish now before level 85 with the shard economy changes. You can basically set the bones and infrastructure for your entire future development in this game in place before you hit level 85, and that's what we were starting to strategize and plan on around the level 70s when, because of the hyperdrive bundle, it was clear the squad arena was not going to be a source of crystals or a source of resources. So we shifted to a plan of focusing on the squad arena. We spread out our resources, and now we're starting to see the benefits of that strategy by being able to now accomplish a lot of those assault battles and get those resources. And now that we have a better feel of when we're going to hit level 85, like probably 5 weeks or so, I have a sense now of how many things we're going to be done with before we hit that milestone. So here are the milestones since week 6. This past week, we were able to progress from level 78 to 80, and we were able to accomplish 2 more of the assault battles. So now we have 3 out of the 6 assault battles accomplished. Here's an overview of the assault battles. The ones in white are the ones we were able to beat. The ones in light gray are the ones we are still working on. What's nice is the number of these that are going to work towards a legendary or some other game requirement. The ones that we have yet to beat, the Phoenix and Night Sisters one, maybe my Phoenix are good enough, but we're building a Night Sister team regardless for the Mother Telzine shards, and because for Grand Arena they're a great team. Bounty Hunters, we just had that Galactic Bounty. My Bounty Hunters are not strong enough yet for it. That's a team that we really want to build up. The Imperial Troopers, I attempted the event with them. At low gear and lower levels, they really weren't cutting it, so I think Bounty Hunters are really the team you're going to want to be building to beat that earlier. The Sith and First Order one, we have some Sith, but any additional Sith in the game are kind of a diversion from what we are working on, so the First Order will be building up for that team. I don't want to farm any additional Sith right now, other than possibly Bastila Fallen after we accomplish some other farms. Here are the prizes from beating Forest Moon the first time. There's additional prizes each time you beat any tier, which is something I had forgotten about. It's been so long since I've beat these tiers for the first time, but you get a lot of resources, and that helps so much more now than it will later to start beating these new tiers when either the credit crunch isn't as bad or when I've completed these farms, minimizes the benefit that we can get out of them. But right now that's a big boost to what I'm trying to accomplish, especially the 1,000,000 credits. So this was the Forest Moon one, and this is from Places of Power, whatever you use the Jedi to beat the Separatists. Like, that's a huge amount of rewards, that extra 1,000,000 credits when I'm hungry for every credit I can get in order to promote characters, to level them up. This going after these assault battles is a huge infusion. The big thing that we're trying to do with this new account is to maximize the return on investment of any resources we put into any character, because right now, like, if I put any resources into my squad arena teams, it's not changing my performance at all. It's not changing the amount of crystals I'm getting. It's not changing the amount of squad arena currency I'm getting. But putting those resources right now into additional squads, which is setting me up for Grand Arena, setting me up for other game requirements, legendaries, territory battles, we are able to get a very early return on investment that we're able to tangibly feel and reinvest into the roster to maximize what else we are able to do. Okay, we're going to walk through each faction, show the progress, show how that relates to different legendary journey requirements, and show the amount of things that we are going to have farms done to one extent or another. We're shooting for 5-star unlocks minimum. In a lot of cases, I think we're going to be able to do 6-star unlocks. journey characters, we're going after CLS. You can build a really nice CLS team very early on, and CLS is the easiest journey character to get because the farms don't compete as much with each other. I'll show you with the Old Republic, we're not going after them right now because so many of those farms compete with other farms, and it's just going to slow us down. We'll shift to them after we unlock a few other things. So first up, we have Bounty Hunters. This is very important for Galactic Bounties, for that Rebel Roundup Assault Battle, and for a lot of other... They're a very powerful team that we're going to be using in Grand Arena. Jango Fett, you can start farming much earlier than Bosk. Like, Bosk is a level 85 farm. We started Jango in the late 70s. Mando and Grief Cargo, we're shooting for to see how they're going to alter the Chewbacca unlock. Now, right now they are a single shard drop, so it's a little slow, but by May they're going to become a double shard drop. So long-term wise, that's going to have a lot of benefit to understand if we can be unlocking Chewie at much lower gears. You can see we are done with the Dengar farm. All those Guild Store exclusive farms, go after them right away because of how infrequent some of them show up. It takes a while. Dengar was actually not that bad. Logray, though, I'm still not done with. Clones, we haven't gotten to yet too much. You can see we have a bunch of shards from beating the Rebel and Clones assault battle, but we are not going to hit them in earnest until we are able to finish a few more fleet farms, because the best and fastest place to farm them would be the fleet store. But we would like to have them for Grand Arena. And ARC Trooper, you can start farming fairly early. Droids, just quick overview. We are going after 3PO Chewie. Even though he is going to be a single shard drop for a very long time, that kit is so powerful. We want to pair him with CLS very early. We can do that at low stars. We can do it at lower gear, and he's already going to have a huge boost to that team. And I want to have that team relatively ready to go by level 85. The rest of these characters get done with other factions, but you can see that we have made a lot of progress. In Grievous, always have credits of currency available for Grievous. He shows up so infrequently, you just want to start that immediately. Empire, this is our strongest one. This is our arena team. We're building them quickly. I haven't been using Grand Admiral Thrawn in arena yet, only because he is a much harder gear than some of these other characters, and because I like how Range Trooper gives me protection up. And with these Empire characters, a lot of these characters are really easy farms, which is allowing us to progress pretty quickly. And I'm loving how Stormtrooper handles inevitable failure from Pia. He's really tanky and one of the easiest tanks to gear in the game. Ewoks is annoying, but we want Wicket for Zetas. We're starting to farm him now. We want him up to 4 stars as quickly as possible, and we're trying to figure out with the Endor escalation what that minimum ability, mat, and character level and star level we need. We can attempt it at 4 stars. We will see what it actually takes to beat it, and that way for any future players you can understand what that minimum investment is. But we will also at least get a 5-star unlock of C-3PO once we hit level 85. First Order, this is one of the further out teams that I've been investing the least amount into. I'm set up fairly well for that BB-8 unlock. We're going to throw BB-8 with, I think, General Grievous, if we have Grievous ready by level 85. The 5th character, though, Phasma, would be the fastest to farm, but doesn't have late game viability, so I don't really want to get distracted with Phasma. Officer would be nice, but there's a lot of other Cantina store characters, so that one I'm slightly hesitant on. Sith Trooper is what I would really like, because then we're able to also work towards a Sith requirement and get us an additional Sith character, because we don't have a lot of Sith characters right now. Galactic Republic, this is just Padme. And so if we're looking at the Padme team, Anakin will have unlocked soon. Padme will be unlocking once we hit level 85. Kenobi is being worked on. We'll have the pieces of that. And Shakti, we also want to be working on to have a decent clone team fairly early on. That's going to take a while. That's not a level 85 project. But we will have a Padme team for level 85. Geos, because of fleet, they're highly developed. Alpha will be farming as soon as we hit level 85. They're progressing nicely. Troopers, we saw this a moment ago. Now that Moff Gideon is farmable, there's so many Cantina farms, I don't know when we're going to do it, but it will be soon. His kit is just too good. He boosts these guys way too much. Demoralize is such a powerful debuff or special buff, or special debuff, that we want it. And we have on this channel, we have a major bias towards new kits. New kits are just so powerful. I don't care that's a single shard drop. Even at 2-3 stars, we're going to start seeing how powerful he can be because of that extra revive, because of those shared stats. I actually do want to talk about Jawas, just because for a long time a lot of those Geos are going to be lower gear. I have a feeling that we can get a lot of utility out of these Jawas at very low star counts and gear levels. Because I've been using Gear 8, Gear 9 Jawas against the Gear 11 Geos. So even lower than that, as long as we have a good scavenger, we should be able to use them. It's a potential counter that I think I might want to have for Grand Arena. We'll see at which level. Jedi, we've been working on finishing off the Phoenix characters, finishing off the Jedi, working towards the 7 stars on all these. We've got the 6-star Yoda. They're progressing nicely. They are self-explanatory. Night Sisters, this is Telzine and a Zeta. Their own assault battle, and they're just such a good team. And I feel like a lot of players put off Night Sisters because they don't directly go towards a legendary. They have these niche uses, but they are late game viable, and a lot of other teams expire. Like First Order kind of expires. Ewoks expire. Like those Bastila Jedi teams expire, but you will always use Night Sisters. And they were someone I put off until Heroic Sith Raid made them almost mandatory on my main account, but with this account, I want them ready to go right away. Old Republic, we hinted at this. We are not prioritizing them right now just because all these farms compete with each other, but pretty soon we're going to shift to them. Phoenix, we've seen. I'm working on finishing these farms. Now that I've spent all this time on this account, we had an Empire focus to begin with. We want to see trooper viability with Piet and look at the Vader rework. As that was the big experiment on this account, so we didn't go too heavily after Phoenix. We also were focused on setting myself up well for fleets, so we were working on some Separatist characters. But now that I've spent all this time, Phoenix you want to go after early, you want to hit them hard. You can have Palpatine unlocked within a week or two. Within a month you can have a 7-star Palpatine. You can be running Palpatine in Arena from basically week 2 on, and from week 2 until like I guess week 15, 16 is when we're going to hit level 85. You can have a strong Palpatine team while you have farming all the other requirements and be able to also get Padme unlocked at level 85. But going after the Separatists super aggressively, there's not a lot of reason to do it because you're able to finish Palpatine so much sooner and use him so much sooner, and then also be able to work on Separatist and get Padme unlocked at level 85. You're able to do both. But Phoenix, because you're able to unlock Palpatine earlier, should just be done first. Rebels, most of these are redundant, but this is all about CLS because Leia and Han are fairly quick farms out of the squad arena. Luke and Obi-Wan are cantina farms where they're a little delayed, but they're relatively quick farms. And the one thing I have been doing is I have been using guild store currency to get a head start on Obi-Wan. But CLS, I'm pretty sure we can have him unlocked by level 85 and do all the other farms that we're doing. I'm very surprised by just the number of things you can have done before hitting level 85. Just so much. Rebel Fighters, Mon Mothman I have at 2-3 stars. This team, I think, potentially could be much more useful early on than it is late game. So we're working on Mon Mothman, some of these Rebel Fighters in the background, partly because with territory battles we're also working on Jin. Resistance we're a little slower on. We made a ton of progress on Resistance hero Poe though, because he's on the same node as Admiral Pete, and he's a double shard drop. And because of that, we're probably going to get Resistance hero Finn fairly early. JTR, we'll see where we are on it, but sometime after CLS we'll work on that. It's really the vets, even though they're on a much better node now. Just getting to them is going to be the issue. There's so many other things to work on. Separatists, this is where we're at. We're done with most of these farms. We just have to throw on ability mats and increase gear and character level before we hit level 85. But for the most part, we've made a ton of progress on this. And then we got Grievous that we're working on. We talked about him a little earlier. Sith, this is what I'm saying. Because a lot of these characters are either node farms and not store farms, or the ones that store farms don't have a lot of late game utilities. This has been a slower faction, but that's why Sith Trooper was attractive to me, and that's why Bastila Fallen is a character that we'd like to get going. But for that assault battle, Darth Maul is actually super nice because he takes all these extra turns when he takes out Jedi. So that's someone short-term wise I'm interested in getting, but we're not going to get distracted with them. Smugglers, I'm starting to work on smugglers because of that smuggler event. We want those slicing materials and start working on them. Even though we're not really able to level up mods to 15 in order to slice them, we want to start creating that bank and cache of those materials. And this one, we'll talk about ships and then we're going to wrap up. Ships, we have been working on the Geo ships. We are hitting the top 50 consistently now. We are consistently getting those extra crystals, which is allowing us to do a daily refresh of Cantina, which we weren't doing before. And we are working on all of the Falcon farms. Even though we could shift from the Geos into the Malevolence, that's just going to take a while. I'd rather have a 5-6 star Falcon in the meantime to counter any Geo ships later on. And also there's a lot of hyperdrive stuff going on. So a Falcon is still going to be worth the shift. Plus there's that cargo event, and I'm going after these cargo ships in order to take advantage. The one mistake we have made with ships is I did not plan ahead well enough to get 5 5-star ships. We are short of one. We have 4 5-star ships right now. We're trying to get that 5th one. We could refresh this node, but we're already spreading our energy, our light side, dark side energy a little thin right now from going after all these bounty hunter ships. And the other one is Slave 1 we've been working on, but it shows up so infrequently. That one's been kind of slow. Actually, I think we need 6 we either need 6 5-star ships or we need 5 5-star dark side ships. That might be what it is. But we have lost a ton of resources by having not planned that out early enough on where I could have been farming for one extra ship. I think since level 75, 76, we could have been collecting extra resources from a higher tier, which I believe coincided with the Zetamats, and we have been missing out on those for a couple weeks now because we did not plan ahead on this. So that's the overview of where we're at, but it also, again, to emphasize the sheer volume of things you can have accomplished in this game because of the shard economy changes by level 85. So again, that's every legendary character we are either going to be unlocking at level 85 when we're first allowed to, at either 5 or 6 stars. The other legendary characters that you can work on ahead of time, we will be at 6 or 7 stars. The only limiting factor there, again, is credits. We can't really afford the promotions, so we'll see how many of them can be 7-star unlocks, but we'll be at least farmed up to have them all at 7 stars. We will have a journey character in CLS, and we will probably be able to make a lot of progress towards JTR, except for the vets. And then we will be able to accomplish at least the first tier, but in a lot of cases probably the second and third tiers of all of the assault battles. And then all of the other events, the cargo, the smugglers, the galactic bounties, have the Talzine Wicked events, all of those events, being able to accomplish them all by level 85. So by the time that you're able to like play the game and you're done with the tutorial, you can be set up with all of those things and being able to collect at least some resources from every single event. Like, that's a huge change from where the game used to be. And once we hit level 85, I don't know if we're going to do a weekly video showing the progress, as at that point we're no longer hitting new milestones, we're more just strengthening teams, increasing gear levels, but we will be at least periodically doing an update until we accomplish the goals that I want with this new account, which is to do a lowish viable teams on those other events and other legendary characters. So thank you for watching. Be safe out there, everyone. This has been Still Plays, and be excellent to each other.